Rain pelted against the glass walls of the penthouse, blurring the skyline of the city beyond. Ethan Cole, the man who owned half of it, sat at the edge of his leather sofa, a cup of untouched coffee cooling in his hands. His suit jacket hung limply over the armrest, and his tie lay discarded on the floor. 3 years ago, he was the man who had everything: an empire of real estate developments, a perfect wife, 2 newborn twins. And then a single winter night ripped it all away, leaving him with only his work, and the 2 children he had no idea how to raise. He had gone through a rotation of nannies, 9 in the last year. They all came polished, professional, and quick to quit once they realized the job meant more than changing diapers. It meant soothing midnight fevers, learning the twins' stubborn little personalities, and dealing with their father's absence. This morning, his assistant had informed him the new nanny had arrived. Her name's Clara Hayes, she'd said. Comes from a small town. She's not exactly what you'd expect for this position. Ethan hadn't looked up from his laptop. If she lasts more than a week, she'll already be exceptional. He barely saw her that day, only catching glimpses of a young woman in a worn cardigan, her hair in a loose braid, speaking softly to the twins as she unpacked groceries. She didn't introduce herself formally. She just got to work, and for Ethan, that was enough. 2 days later, he was forced home early when a meeting was cancelled. He stepped into the penthouse and frowned at the silence. No cartoons blaring. No wails. Just the distant sound of water. He followed it through the hall, expecting to find the twins in the marble-tiled bathroom with its gold fixtures. Instead, he stopped in the open doorway of the laundry room. There, in the center of the tile floor, was an old wooden barrel, one he recognized from the maintenance closet, used for soaking large loads of laundry. Clara was kneeling beside it, sleeves rolled up, her hands cradling one of the twins as she poured warm water from a pitcher. The little boy giggled as she scrubbed behind his ears, while his sister sat waiting for her turn, her chubby legs kicking against the edge of the barrel. What, exactly are you doing? Ethan's voice startled even himself. Clara glanced up, unbothered. The hot water's out in the main bathroom. Pipe issue. Maintenance says they'll fix it tomorrow. She smiled faintly. Kids needed a bath today, so I improvised. In a barrel? They love it. Makes it feel like an adventure, she said, tickling the boy's chin until he squealed. And it's warmer here. No drafts. Ethan should have been irritated. This was hardly the pristine, controlled environment he paid for. But something in the scene froze him. The steam rising, the soft splashes, the unguarded joy on his children's faces. He realized he hadn't heard them laugh like that in months. He leaned against the doorframe, watching as Clara lifted the boy out, wrapped him in a towel, and placed him gently on her lap. She didn't rush, didn't bark orders, didn't treat them like tasks. She spoke to them as if they were the most important little humans in the world. By the time she had both twins bundled and giggling in matching pajamas, Ethan had said nothing more. That night, after they were asleep, he found her in the kitchen rinsing the barrel. You could have just waited until tomorrow, he said quietly. She shrugged. Kids don't wait for convenience. The answer lodged somewhere deep inside him. Days turned into weeks. Clara was nothing like the nannies before her. She didn't fuss over appearances, didn't seem to care about his wealth. She took the twins outside to splash in puddles, baked cookies in the middle of the night when they couldn't sleep, and told them bedtime stories from her own childhood. She was patient with their tantrums, stern when she needed to be, and quick to forgive. Ethan found himself lingering at home more often, sitting on the floor to help with puzzles, letting work calls go to voicemail just to hear his daughter's retelling of the day's adventures. And every time he glanced at Clara, something unspoken passed between them. One snowy afternoon, he returned early again, carrying gifts for the twins. He found them in the living room, building a fort out of couch cushions. Clara sat cross-legged inside with them, a paper crown on her head. His son was laughing so hard he could barely breathe. Looks like I'm interrupting royalty, Ethan teased. Clara glanced up, her cheeks pink from laughter. Only if you brought tribute. He handed over the bags, and the twins squealed at the sight of new picture books and mittens. Clara mouthed a quiet thank you. That night, after the twins were asleep, Ethan found her in the pantry restocking shelves. Clara, he began, unsure how to put the weight of what he felt into words. You've been here 2 months. That's longer than anyone else since their mother. She turned, leaning against the shelf. Is that your way of saying I'm doing a decent job? It's my way of saying you've changed this place, he said. Changed me. Her smile faltered, replaced by something softer, almost vulnerable. Ethan. He stepped closer. When I saw you that day in the laundry room, I didn't realize it then, but it was the first time I'd seen real happiness here since she died. You didn't just bathe them in a barrel. You gave them warmth. You gave me something I thought I'd lost. She looked away, blinking fast. I didn't come here to fix anyone. I just care about them. And maybe about their father, too. His heart thudded. He reached for her hand, hesitating only a moment before closing it around hers. Outside, snow kept falling, wrapping the city in quiet. Inside, something new was beginning, not born from grand gestures or perfect circumstances, but from small acts of love. And it all started with a barrel of warm water in a laundry room.